Howdy folks, Keywii here, and welcome back to Steins Gate, a safe space in which to be awesome, where things are somewhat somber. We just realized that our time-traveling friend not only failed her mission, but also is dead now, and that is, none too good, to be honest. So Okabe is, as he states here, crying, and his hands curl, crumpling the paper, and we're about to get pretty emotional. Let's do our best. Let's go. My hands curl, crumpling the page. I realize that I'm crying. Suzuha failed? She lost her memory? Her life was meaningless? This can't be happening. Nobody says a word. Their faces, like mine, are frozen in disbelief. I turn to Daru. He's whiter than a sheet. Daru, didn't you fix the time machine?
No.
I did. I thought I did, but I mean, that was my first time repairing a time machine. I might have missed something. Missed something? Whatever you missed cost your daughter 24 years of her life. Oh, Okabe. I know you're emotional. Please try and hold comments like that. I didn't do it on purpose. Calm down, both of you. Ishida did everything you could. He doesn't deserve your anger, Okabe. How can you be so calm? That's how I am. Sorry, now calm down. It's not Daru's fault, I know that. But it can't end like this, it can't. What was Suzuha's feeling as she wrote this letter? I look again at the words scrawled upon the page, every character resonant with despair. I wanted to welcome her back with a smile. Instead, this. Suzuha is dead, 10 years gone. Wait, how did she die? Don't tell me. Mr. Braun must know what happened. I run to the window and check the street. Mr. Braun is outside closing up shop.
Mr. Braun!
Mr. Braun! I run downstairs.
Okabe!
Okabe, did you hear? That satellite up and disappeared. Everyone's talking about it. I guess it's already made the news. Please, I need to know. Huh? Know what? Hashida Suzu-san, how did she die? Why do you want to know that? He looks at me hard. I meet his stare unflinchingly. I don't know anything about how she died. I need to know what her last moments were like. I feel that it's my duty to know. Engrave her memory into my heart. Sounds like you've got a reason. What I want to know is how you knew her. She was an old acquaintance. That's a very interesting story. That's all I can say. A very old acquaintance, but I still remember the time I spent with her. So please, tell me. I don't like to talk about it, but alright, listen good, Okabe. I slowly nod. And then I get my answer. It was suicide. The word drops on my heart like an anvil. My knees give out. I collapse to the pavement. Suicide. She hung herself at home. I was the one who found her. My life was meaningless. I recall the last words she wrote in the letter. Words of unimaginable despair. She didn't deserve so bleak an end. She became unstable about a year before it happened. Before that, she was a nice, cheerful lady. This building was hers. She gave me a place to stay. Yeah, it does take credence away from my she set up the building on purpose thing. Apparently, it was just coincidental. She had no relatives, you know. Almost no one came to her funeral. It was a sad thing to see. She handed me that letter a week before it happened. Told me to give it to a young man named Okabe Rintaro on this exact date. When you moved in upstairs, I thought Suzu-san must have seen the future or something.
命が上に越してきた時はな
Enough. I can't take it anymore. I try to stand, but my legs betray me. I stumble. But before I fall, a small body supports my shoulder. Okabe, are you okay? Miuri. I must be taking all her strength to hold me up. Did Miuri hear how Suzuha died? Her eyes are wet, her lips are trembling. Still, she's the one supporting me. Miuri and I bowed deeply to Mr. Braun and returned to the lab. When we get back, Daru is seated at his computer, head on the table. Karasu is standing in front of the TV, watching an excited reporter talk about Radican. The disappearance of the satellite is huge news, obviously. The lounge is silent, save for the TV. I look at the table. 0337187. The divergence meter still reads that number. It hasn't changed since before Suzuha left. What went wrong? I can't go back 10 years with the time leap machine. I can't do anything about Suzuha's death. Should I have stopped her from leaving after all? Maybe the strategy wouldn't have happened. No. What choice did I have? I can't save Miuri without the IBM 5100. Suzuha had to travel to 1975. I consider my options. What if I redo these last 2 days again? Could Daru fix the time machine so this doesn't happen? Is fixing the time machine even possible? Daru's skills are second to none, and the time machine was built by his own hand 26 years in the future. Seems logical that he'd be able to fix it. But look at it another way. It took Daru 26 years to learn enough to build the time machine, and he had to reverse engineer CERNs to do it. Maybe it's unreasonable to expect our Daru to perform flawless repairs in only 2 days. In that case, can I have Daru use a time leap machine and repeat these 2 days until he repairs it? No, he'll have to start from scratch each time. 2 days just aren't enough. I collapse onto the sofa and bury my face in my hands. Mary sits next to me and gently rubs my back. I'm grateful for her kindness. I recall what Suzuha wrote. If you can go back to that day, please, please let me leave. The email I sent. Could that be the cause? On the original world line, Suzuha had leapt in 1975 without failing to meet her father. Unsatisfied with that outcome, I sent an email to convince myself to follow Suzuha and prevent her from leaving. As a result, she remained in 2010 for an additional 4 days. But that night, the time machine was destroyed by a thunderstorm. If I hadn't followed Suzuha that day, if I hadn't sent that email to myself, her time machine would not have malfunctioned. She would have arrived safely in 1975. The solution is obvious. I need to cancel that email. But can I really do that? If I change the past so that Suzuha leaves, won't that undo the 4 days we spent together? A frantic search of the streets of Akiba. Her heartfelt confession on the roof of Radican. Her tearful reunion with her father, Daru. All of it will be undone. What do I do? Oh, an urgent bulletin pops up on the TV. I look up in surprise. Bomb threat suspends Yamanote, Sobu, and Tokyo lines. Damn, Moeka's men will be here any minute. There's no time to think, no time to hesitate. I run downstairs, break into the Brontube workshop, and turn on the 42-inch CRT. Then I return to the lab and activate the time leap machine.
Okabe.
What are you doing, Okabe? Karasu demands answers. I can see the fear in her eyes. We can't just leave it like this. I have to do something. Okabe. But Ocarine, are you sure? Don't try and stop me, Mary. I can't let this stand. There are 2 options. I can cancel the email that convinced me to pursue Suzuha. Sending a contradictory email should do the trick. Or I can time leap again to prevent Suzuha from leaving. 2 options, but really just one. Do not hesitate, Okabe Rentaro. Hesitation is unforgivable. You already know what you must do. Oh, he's doing the D-mail. Stop pursuit. Last mail. his CERN trap. That should be enough to convince me to let Suzuha go. Kurisu, you're good at remembering dates, aren't you? Well, sure. When did we throw that party for Suzuha? 4 days ago, August 9th. You're sending an email, Green, but won't that make everything disappear? 4 days. It may not sound like much, but in that time we forged a definite bond with Suzuha. To send this email is to sever that bond. I know that. But this is the only choice I have. I sent the phone wave 97 hours ago. This email should arrive a few hours from after the first. Now I just need to send it. Save Mayuri, that is my purpose. That is what drove me to leap through time. I'll do whatever it takes to save her. This is just one more sacrifice. Erase the time you spent with Suzuha. Destroy whatever bond you had. Send the email. Push the button. Oh, it's prompting me to do that. Isn't that what Suzuha wants? You'll be saving her from... Am I really the one? Do I have to do it? Okay, if that is the case, then let's save a little. Let's do an actual, like, real choice save. On number 8. Send it. Save Suzuha. Save Mary. I start up the microwave. The discharge begins immediately. I place my thumb on the send button. Are you sure? Mary's voice is choked with tears. My memories with Suzu-san will disappear. Is that really okay? It's very stressed right now, but here's my explanation, and I'll give a very brief one. Saving people is worth more than how much they mean to me. Like, if I become an asshole, then that's perfectly fine, if that means setting the world right. And her being alive to save Mayuri, that's what sets the world right. Memories flash through my head. Being with you guys, even for just a little while, was great. Going to finish what you started, Dad, I promise. Well, I'll see you in 35 years, though I guess it'll only be a few hours for you guys. Change the future, please. Suzuha, I've made my choice. I won't ask for your forgiveness. Ultimately, I'm doing this to save Mayuri. But at the same time, the words you spoke on that rooftop are still strong in my heart. You entrusted me your hope for the future. If I'm to honor that wish and fulfill mine, then the time we spent together can never have happened. Metaphysics necrosis. The world shatters into geometric shapes that expand and contract like rubber toys. Light gathers between my eyes. Stars explode behind my eyelids. Gradually, color returns to the world. I wait for the vertigo to pass. Cold sweat oozes from my temples. Pressing my fists against them, I slowly force the air out of my lungs. Has the world line changed? I head to the lounge in order to check the divergence meter. It's gone. It would be gone, realistically. I checked the meter a few minutes ago, and just before the world line changed, now it's nowhere to be found. I quickly realized what happened. Hang on. What has happened? Sue gave me the meter after we stopped her from leaving. My D-mail undid those events. Of course the meter isn't here. A surge of regret seizes my heart. I clench my teeth and endure it as best I can. If nobody else remembers, then I alone will keep these memories of Suzuha alive. I look around the room. Mayuri and Kurisu are on the sofa, dozing on each other's shoulders. Daru, oblivious to the vulnerable high school girls behind him, is playing an eroge on his computer. I take a deep breath and turn on the TV. Flip to the news channel. The world line shouldn't have changed. I erase the time we spent with Suzuha. I should have allowed her to leap to 1975 without losing her memories, and the IBM 5100 should be in our hands now. We can use the hack and discern and erase the data they intercepted from us. Without that information, Moeka's men won't attack the lab, Mayuri won't have to die. That's how it should be. That's how it has to be. Otherwise, why did I sacrifice Suzuha's dream? The quickest way to confirm the change would be to check for any delays at Akihabara Station. There. Is the Yamanote line stopped?
Huh?
Huh? I don't think so. Check online, please. Oi, I'm at the best part. Please. There sighs and calls up train information. Doesn't look well stopped. Thanks. The world line has changed, which means that our IBN 5100 should be in the development room. I head back there to search for it. But contrary to my expectations, I can't find it anywhere. What's going on? I look at my watch. It's 7:43 p.m. Moeka's men attack at what time again? My heart is pounding like a drum. The demo was supposed to fix everything. The trains are moving as scheduled, which means that Moeka's men aren't about to attack. So why does it feel like nothing's fixed at all? The IBN 5100's absence is extremely disturbing. I want to sit down and think about where it could have gone, but a voice in my head is screaming that there's no time. I need to calm down. It's hard to think straight after everything that's happened. I check my watch again. It's 7:46. Images from the assault flash through my mind. Mayuri bleeding to death on the floor. The smell of gunpowder in the air. I frantically shake the visions out of my head. I look towards the lab entrance. The door has yet to be kicked in by a team of hitmen. I swallow hard, petrified with terror. Please, don't let anything happen. It's past 9. I peek at the street through the window. Nobody's there. Are you waiting for someone? You keep looking out the window. Dare's right. I probably looked out the window 20 times in the past hour. And not a suspicious figure in sight. Moeka's men still haven't appeared. Raid was before 8, if I remember correctly. I think it's safe to say that my changes of the past have prevented it from occurring. Suzuha's sacrifice was not in vain. I let out a deep breath. I'm sweaty and disgusting. It's like my anxiety has pushed all the sweat out of my body. Mayuri, Karasu. The two girls wake up from their nap about half an hour ago. Woke up. Now they're eating cup noodles. Wait, did you just say my name correctly? Karasu looks at me in astonishment, like she can't believe her ears. When you're done eating, go home. It's late, so I'll go with you. Okie dokie. I don't need an escort from you. I can get back by myself. Just listen. Dare, you too. Huh? Me too. Train lines running through Akihabara are operating normally. There's no bomb scare, there's no sign of Moeka and her men. Karasu's taking the Sobu line to the next station, Ochanomizu, while Daru is going the opposite way to Shinkoyawi. Miri and I are taking the Yananote line to Ikebukuro, so we part at the station's ticket gate. There are surprisingly few passengers on the train. I guess most of the salarymen are off for the Oban holiday. Oban. Mary is playing a handheld game, the Rainet Kikuru Action RPG. On the screen are characters battling a gigantic Upa. I stand beside her and gaze at her profile, lost in thought. It's the night of the 13th, and Mayuri's still alive. How many times have I watched her die? How many times have I tasted that despair? No matter what I did, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't save this ditzy childhood friend of mine from death. She died again and again right before my eyes. But now, she's alive. Standing beside me, playing a game. This is why I sacrificed our memories with Suzuha. It was the only way. I'm sorry, Suzuha. And thank you. Suzuha no longer exists in this time, but I hope my feelings will reach her all the same. Actually, come to think of it, why can't I tell her in person? Where in Akiba could the 50-year-old Suzuha be? I'll try asking Tanuji tomorrow. Probably knows Suzuha on this world line too. I wonder if Suzuha remembers me. Hey, Ocarine. Very suddenly lifts her head. Alright, well, that'll have to be for this episode. Strange things are afoot, but thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, I just looked at the poster at the top with the anime girls on the thing. I thought it was like a window and people were looking down at me, and I'm like, ah! But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Of course, I'm Keywii, and great to you and yourself a delightful day. Goodbye!